So, Michael McDowell, you were walking back here to our press room, and I said, rinse and repeat, bro. I could sit down and ask the same questions that I asked last time in April, other than, are you going to pull that same move this time if it comes down to that last lap?
Not the same move, because that one didn't work out. But I hope I'm in position, to be defending, coming to the white flag, coming to the checkered. You always learn. You always learn, what you could have done different, how you'd approached it different. And so much of super speedway racing, especially when you're racing Brad Keselowski, who's won like 36 times at Talladega. I forget what the number is, but it's like 9, right? 7 or 9 times. He's very witty and he knows what he's doing. And so a lot of it's mental, right? A lot of it's making that decision at the right time. And, so I look at it and I study it and I figure out how I would have done it differently. Because it didn't work out. Take the people's perception aside of, being a late block and a bad move and all that. I was doing everything I could to try to win the race. And the way I look at it is that I didn't make the right moves to win the race. Not, do you stay that aggressive? I'll stay that aggressive. 100% I'm making the move again. I'm just going to do it better. Right? And that's how you look at it, right? I don't get to the point where I go, oh man, that was stupid. I shouldn't have done it. I should have just finished second. That's never going to be my mindset of, you just got to figure out how to do it better and make it count. And hopefully we are in that spot to make it count tomorrow.
Yeah, you're not an athlete if you're going for second place and being okay with that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But I think that, you still got to learn, right? You still got to learn from the mistakes that you made. And I think it was a mistake. Not the approach, not the attitude, not the mindset, but the actual moves needed to be in a different sequence than what I did it. And so you just learn from that.
Okay. It sounds so easy when you say, okay, we just learned from that. You're talking about processing thousands of seconds in just that amount of time and making something work versus not work. For the normal person like me, that's just not possible.
Yeah, and I understand. And that's what makes Brad, for example, and there's others, I'm just highlighting him because of how many times he's won here, so good.
Yeah.
His processor is extremely fast. That's the best way to describe it. There's a couple guys that are just next level when it comes to processors. Now, I'm not saying ability. I'm not saying hand-eye coordination. I'm saying their brain capacity and speed of it is better than some. And so what I have to do is run through 100 different scenarios that last lap and think about each one of those on what you would do and how you would react and what are the what I would call triggers to make you react one way or another. And so I think I have to be more of a student, if that makes sense, and work at it where maybe it comes a little bit natural to Brad. I don't know. I don't know what he's like behind closed doors, right? And he's cagey enough. I don't think he'll let me sit down and talk to him about it. But I think he also knows that when we come here that I'm someone that he'll have to beat to win the race, right? And so we've been close to each other the last 4 or 5 times here, and he's starting to figure me out, and I'm starting to figure him out, and so it only gets more difficult.
More difficult, but more fun.
More fun for sure. Yeah. Tremendous amount of respect. I mean, when somebody's won that many times at one place, you can't just go, oh, it's a coincidence, or he's really lucky. He's not lucky. I mean, if you win as many times as he's won down here, you're doing something right, and you're doing it right consistently. And so he's somebody that I study often, and Denny Hamlin's somebody that I study often. You don't win 3 Daytona 500s by chance, right? And so you're always learning, always growing.
When you look at what you've done here at this track, you've got 6 poles this year. And as Erica Enders said on our show last week,
usually like F, mother F, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Sorry. I love Jesus, but I cuss a little.
God, why aren't you in the playoffs, Michael?
Yeah. The reality is there's too many missed opportunities. We've had the speed and we've had the cars to do it this year. We just missed opportunities. And when I say that we've had cars and we've had the speed, when I say that there's been opportunities, there's been races we could have won and haven't capitalized on it. The difference between us and a Hendrick Motorsports or Joe Gibbs Racing is they typically have that kind of speed every weekend. And it increases your chances of getting it right. It increases your odds of getting it right. I'm not saying that it's easier for them because winning a cup races are extremely difficult. But, when Denny Hamlin has the fastest car and he's the fastest driver, I don't want to take anything away from him, 25 of those weekends, he's probably going to win 4 or 5, right? Where I feel like we've been in that spot maybe 4 times this year, and we just haven't nailed it, right? And so, it's a bummer. It really is. And, but same thing, you just take it, each year and each lesson that you learned of what not to do. And, you hope that you get another opportunity to capitalize on it.
One of the things that caught my ear in this press conference, and I didn't think about this, I didn't know it until I heard from you, your team owner, Bob Jenkins. You dropped millions. You said he has spent millions.
Yeah, he probably didn't want you saying that. His wife was probably listening, so I'm going to be in big trouble tonight.
But that's reality. That's
racing. Reality.
Yes. Unlike some other team owners that can rely on those corporate sponsors, which helps me identify with Front Row Motorsports and 2311, part of this lawsuit of we got to find different or better funding to keep our cars on the track. Mm-hmm. When team owners are spending that kind of blow over and over and over and over and over, I can only imagine what kind of predicament that puts their driver.
Yeah, it is a tough deal. And, I don't know, I'm on my way out, right? And so I'm not privileged to every conversation anymore. Right. I'd have better insight for you if I was.
I think we learned that in St. Louis. I think we were talking to you.
Yeah, and as you can tell, I mean, Bob and I spend a lot of time together. There's no hard feelings. I mean, it's just business. It's the way it goes, right?
I was going to say, let's clear that point up because you do have a great relationship.
Yeah, great relationship.
And you've helped this team grow to where they are now.
Yeah, I mean, we were out there, in between the first round and second round, and talking and having a good time and hugging after the pole because it means a lot to both of us. So it's a tough deal. It is. I mean, there's a reason that they've been fighting and negotiating for the last 2 years, and where it all go, I don't know, but I do know this. This is what I can say is Bob Jenkins is extremely passionate about the sport. He loves the sport. He's not doing it because he makes money. He does it. He loses a lot of money doing it. He loves the sport. He loves the people. He loves the team that we have and what we're building and what we've done. And he's just fighting for that. And it's not, he's a good man that's done a lot of good things for a lot of people.
Sometimes, and I'm just looking at all sports, you have owners, whether it's basketball, football, it doesn't really matter. They're happy with the status quo. You have guys that from the outside come in, and I'm talking about a Bob Jenkins or a Michael Jordan, and they're like, hey, I've had experience in other business entities, and this isn't how it's done. Change is good, and we can help facilitate that. That's the way I see what's going on right now.
Yeah, and I haven't been in any of those other sports, so I don't know what it looks like, I can kind of get easily on the flip side, and I'm sure listeners can too, is that, I've been driving race cars around in circles my entire life. I haven't had to have a real job. I feel very fortunate, right? Mm-hmm. And so I can get easily on that side of like, hey, this is going really well. We should all be thankful. And so I do feel that way. I really do. I mean, I'm so thankful for the opportunity I've had to live out a dream and to get paid to do it. Yeah. And to not have a real job. I'm thankful for that. Mm-hmm. And so, it's tough. It's a tough spot to be in. But I'm not financially vested like they are. I'm sweat equity vested, right? I've put my whole life into this, but it's different when you're an owner and you're paying the bills.
What would you do if you weren't driving race cars? What would your real job be?
Yeah, I would still be in racing. I'd be part of the team, running the team, crew chief, general manager, something like that.
Really? So an engineering mind still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just love it. I love that side of it, I've always enjoyed it, and it's just what I've always done, right? So you just take your life, skills, and you take your abilities, and you take the experience you've had and what you've done. This is all I've ever done, so I don't know what else to do or what else I would do. So, yeah, I love it.
We know your history and your history in sports cars, and I'm surprised you don't give yourself enough credit for the Roval. You said out there that you're not real confident going into the Roval. Is it the car? What is it?
I should give more context to it. So the last 3 years or 2 years, maybe 3, we go to Sonoma knowing that we're going to be one of the fastest cars and have a chance of winning. And we finished second there, finished third. We've been in position to win. We go to Watkins Glen knowing that we're going to have a shot at winning that race, right? And we've done that consistently. Went to Indianapolis and we did win, right? And when we go to Roval, it's not that we're terrible. I'm still going to run top 5.
Right.
We just haven't had that outright speed to go win. And so when I think about it like that. It's not like I'm going to go qualify 30th and run 30th all day. Those are still good days and good races for us. But we haven't had that edge that we've had at Sonoma and Watkins Glen, and we're still trying to find that. And so I think it's, some of it for sure is me, because different drivers, just different styles suit them well. You just think about the Roval and AJ Allmendinger, and he's lights out, right? You think about AJ and Sonoma, and it's not really a good fit. No, that's not because AJ can't do it. He can run top 5 there, right? It's just not his very best track, where the Roval is. And so sometimes it's just your timing, your cueing, visually, what makes you find that speed that makes you better at certain places than others. So I just need to find that little extra bit to get to that place where we want to be, that next level.
It's the minutia of the sport. We're back to the beginning of this interview, in which what makes some guys so good at some facilities versus others.
Yeah, for sure.
And we were talking about Keselowski at Talladega. So yeah, there it is. And it's interesting to me, because we haven't had a repeat champion in the Cup Series since Jimmy Johnson. That blows my mind.
It's
but
wild.
That goes to what you guys are up against now, whether it's the difference in the car or the parity, and how much more difficult it is to win.
Yeah, I think that you can never take away what Jimmy and Chad accomplished. It's just mind-boggling. It'll never happen again. I'll go on record saying that it'll never happen again. But the NASCAR world that we live in now is different than it was then. And that's, like I said, that's not taking away anything from what they did. I'm not saying it's harder or easier. But Phoenix is a different racetrack than Homestead. And what it takes to be really good at Homestead is nothing like what it takes to be really good at Phoenix. Now, the best drivers adapt and they figure it out, and the best teams figure it out. It's not, it's not like you just are good at one racetrack. If you make it to that Final Four, you're good everywhere. But Jimmy and Chad were exceptional at Homestead, exceptional at Charlotte Motor Speedway. There's places they were exceptional. And so it's just unique that, with things the way they've changed, but also too the cars and the parity in the cars. It's different. Everybody has the same chassis. Everybody has the same suspension. Everyone has the same parts. So the differences from Team A to Team B are so small that you can get on either side of it very easy. And so I don't think you'll see that dominance ever again. I think that the best teams will always be the best, and we see that. Hendrick and Gibbs have been standouts this year, right? And winning a lot of the races. But their cars are not night and day faster than the rest of the field. They've just executed at a really high level, and they have fast cars, and they've made it count. So the sport has definitely come down to the small details of execution.
One last question about the Roval. Do you like the changes that they've made in this year's track? They're talking about turn 7 and creating chaos for you guys.
Yeah, I don't love the gimmicky creating chaos. I mean, I'll just say it out there. But I like change, because I feel like change helps when it's a place that maybe you haven't nailed. Right? Like, I wasn't super excited about Watkins Glen having a new bus stop and a new exit curbing, because we were so good there last year. I don't want anything to change, and drivers are selfish like that. And so I think that creating more chaos at the Roval, I don't love gimmicks. I wish we were at a proper road course like a Road America or maybe Laguna Seca or somewhere cool like that. But it is fun, and it is challenging, and it is a different style. It's like indoor karting with your buddies. But if anyone that's gone indoor karting with their buddies leaves there really pissed, right? And that's how the Roval is. You leave there like, I got run into way too many times. I ran into too many people. I mean, you just leave there like, what did we just do? And I think that's honestly why it suits AJ's style so well, right? Like, he's figured it out. And so, so it's fun. I enjoy it. But I think there's a lot cooler road courses we could be doing.
Michael, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
This freaking segment is brought to you by our friends at Lucas Oil. Now, what automobile do you have in the garage? I bet Lucas Oil could keep that thing fat and happy and on the road. From everyday car care, heavy-duty trucking to agriculture, hot rods, classic cars, motorcycles, and marine, Lucas Oil has what you need to keep those engines, interiors, and exteriors looking like and running like they're supposed to be. For more information, go to the website, lucasoil.com, and find the perfect Lucas Oil product. Keep your rides on the road. Now through the end of October, buy 4 qualifying SUV or light truck tires and get up to $100 back with a Visa prepaid card. Need more information? Go to the website, GeneralTire.com. That's GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire for Speed Freaks for the last 2 decades.
Rev up your passion for speed. MAVTV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Oh, man! MAVTV Go, your global home of motorsports. Now on the go. Download the app now.
Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to WWTRaceway.com.